Hey guys, Flaring Pain here. Here we are in another iconic Masters draft. Looking over our pack, we've got Sarah Angel, one of the better threats in Magic over its history. Pretty good card. We've also got Malfagor. He's pretty powerful. When he comes in, you're going to discard your hand. And each opponent has to sack a creature for each card discarded this way. So it just blows up their whole team, basically. This card's really powerful. It's probably worth the first pick here. Notably, we'll also be passing Draconic Roar, which is a pretty good removal spell, but it's not really attached to dragons that heavily. People are just going to take it because it's 3 damage for 2 mana, so it's not like a signal that dragons is open necessarily. Dragon Egg's not that great, but it may come back, and it's not the worst card ever. I think I want to take this Malfagor. We're not going to get a ton of chances to play with him in the set. Sarah Angel's the next notable best card. We could also consider something like Draconic Roar first as well. Alright, so what have we got in here? We've got a Reaver, which is probably our best pick here. You know, it's going to destroy target creature with power 3 or less. It's going to help us get to the later game where we can hopefully cast Malfagor. Swift Spear is a good card. Bogbrew Witch is kind of weird. You can build an interesting deck with Bogbrew Witch, but it takes a bunch of work and it's probably not quite worth it in this format. Anywho, we are going to grab this Reaver. Alright, this pack does not have anything great for us. We've got a Guardian Idol, which isn't the worst thing ever, but it's not amazing with how mana dependent our Malfagor is. Palladium Mirror is pretty powerful. Just being able to generate that extra mana is not nothing. We can also take Wrenchmind. Wrenchmind is kind of a pain. It's not that good of a card, but it's actually, if you get a few of these early, you can build a deck that really punishes them with the Wrenchmind. Palladium Mirror is a lot better than Wrenchmind, though, so I'm not sure we want to take it. It might be fun to take the Wrenchmind, though, and just try to go really, really aggressively towards beating them out with that, you know, forcing them to play their hand out into the Malfagor because they see how many Wrenchminds. I think that would be a ton of fun. I think I'm actually going to do that. I know the Palladium Mirror is a lot better, but I want to kind of mess around with the Wrenchmind a little bit. Alright. Here we've got Prodigal Pyromancer. This is a pretty good card. We've also got a removal spell in Reaver, which I like more than Pyromancer. It's 2 mana, and it can destroy a creature with power 3 or less, which is a lot of the creatures in the format. Phyrexian Rager is also worth considering. This is a card, nice value card here where you're going to get up a card on them. I actually would consider taking the Rager over the Reaver a little bit, just because it goes really nicely with the Wrenchmind. But I think I want to just take the Reaver. We may not end up playing the Wrenchmind baloney. Okay, so here we've got Pillar of Flame, which is a premium common removal spell. Pretty good. We've also got Dead Reveler. It's a decent attacker here. We've got Blizzard Spectre if we wanted to splash, which can make them discard cards or bounce their permanents. I think we're going to go with the Pillar of Flame here. I know we've got some removal already, but Pillar of Flame's pretty sweet, and the removal will dry up, surely. It always does. So we could take a Kiln Fiend here. Kiln Fiend could actually be pretty nasty in this deck now with all this removal we've got. We could take another Wrenchmind as well. That would kind of feed into our plan before. But now our deck's starting to look like it might just be a good deck with these cards here. We've got a pretty sweet deck so far. So I think we're going to take the Kiln Fiend, who could benefit from our suite of removal we have so far. Alright, so we've got a Core Augur here. This card's really powerful, but it's really expensive. We're not going to be taking it, but it's worth noting that it's still here. We've got Enlarge, which is kind of a powerful effect, but it's very expensive. I think we're going to take the Dead Reveler here. We could take Moonglove Extract, but we've got real removal instead. So we're going to go ahead and grab the Reveler. Okay. Fury Charm is okay. Maybe a board. Murek Nightblade. Not the greatest, but it's not the worst either. I mean, it works with the Dead Reveler a bit. I think we're going to take it and hope that we don't have to play it in the main. This pack's lame. I think this is the pack we opened. Yeah. Not even the dragon egg came back. Somebody took the dragon egg out of there. We're probably not going to end up playing Hammerhand, but we could actually... We're probably not going to play a Mark of Mutiny, but maybe we will. Goes nicely with the Kiln Fiend. Alright, we'll just take another one. There's nothing in here we're going to want to play, I don't think. This card's very interesting. Really, really powerful card. Just very interesting the way it works. You know, if you have 5 or 6 cards in your hand, you don't have the ability to just discard less of them. But at the same time, you know, when you cast this guy, you can kind of set up the turn for it. And when you cast him, you're going to discard a few cards, and they're going to sack probably all their guys. Which, I mean, that's going to decimate anybody. Nobody's going to be able to stand up to that, really. Take a Fury Charm for the board. Who's holding us up here? Oh, it's the guy right before us, it looks like. He's only got 10 picks. Alright, we're going to take this Moonglow Extract. Unless we think we should take Ojutai's Breath. No, I don't think so. Alright, we don't have very many playables that we got that pack. It looks like there's some people in our colors, but we did cut red and black pretty heavily. Except for the second pick, Draconic Roar, which is not that crazy. So, we passed one other good card. Whatever, we took Wrenchbind over. Oh, Palladium Mirror, but that's not a signal really for these colors. Alright, Aether Vial. Well, Aether Vial is a really powerful card, and we could take it. But I think I would rather just take a regular card to play in a normal deck. Aether Vial is going to make you play kind of weird. I think I'd rather just take something like Child Knight, really. I could also take the Borderland Marauder, which would be sweet with the removal that we've got so far. Yeah, I don't think I want to take the Aether Vial, so I don't think I'm going to. I know it's quite a bit of fun to have the Aether Vial, but we have the beginnings of a pretty good deck here, and I don't want to mess around with it. At the beginning of a draft, I probably would take Aether Vial and try to build something cool with it, but we've got, you know, a pretty low curve of removal here. We could take the Vial, but I think I'd rather just try to draft a regular deck here. I think we're going to take the Child of Night over the Borderland Marauder, but it's pretty close for me. I think we're going to go with the Child of Night, though. There's an Abyssal Persecutor. That card's ridiculous. We got a Dragon Lord Servant, which can help cast Malfagor. So, the Persecutor, we can't win the game, and the opponents can't lose the game. I don't know if we have a way to sacrifice him. I don't think we really do. We need a way to kill him or something. I think we basically have to take him, though, and try to figure it out. He's a kind of gamey card, but he's just so brutally powerful. We could take the Servant. That'd be really conservative. Yeah, we're going to take the Persecutor. Oh man, there's Necropotence. What's going on here? This card's crazy. Yeah, this is... Alright, so Kiln Fiend is what I want to take here, I think. 3 Dynamo is a really powerful card. I want to take the Kiln Fiend and try to build this slightly more aggressive version of this deck here. Got another Reave Soul, which I like here. Yep, Reave Soul is what we're going to go with. See if we can get everything out of the way for our Kiln Fiends to just win the game. Virulent Swipe is going to be pretty good with our Fiends as well. Probably not going to play this Wrench Mind anymore. There's Hammer Hand, which is going to be decent probably in this deck, even though it's like a really dumb, lame card. We could actually consider the Festering Newt just for a 1-drop. It's not the greatest, but it's not that bad. A lot of times they're not going to want to block it with their early creatures. We are going to take this Hammer Hand. We're probably not going to play it. We're probably not going to be that greedy, but we'll see. We got a Swift Spear here. This card's really good in this deck that we're drafting. There's an Anger of the Gods, which will really blow us out if someone casts that against us. Got a Dead Reveler, which is good in our deck too, but the Swift Spear is going to outdo these other several cards that are good. The Kolaghan Monument would probably be also good for us as well. I want to go ahead and grab this Swift Spear here. Battle Rattle Shaman is maybe a good card in our deck. Yeah, I don't really know what he's in the set for, actually. I'm not sure what the purpose of him really is. We're going to take a Dead Reveler instead of him. I don't know. Here's a Borderland Minotaur, or sorry, Marauder, and we're going to take that. We're not going to play 3 Markham Mutinies. That's not a thing that'll happen. So we could take a Vent Sentinel, which is not impossible we'd put in, but I can't imagine going defensive like that. Let's take an Aetherize. It's not impossible we would be in a situation where we'd want to bounce all their attackers. Even though I guess we'd be in a race with Blue-White Skies, maybe we'll pick up multiple copies of the bounce lands that are red and blue or blue and black. But I don't know. That's probably not going to happen either. Alright, Coordinated Assault's good in this deck as well. First strike, right? Yep, that's pretty good. That's actually going to be really nice with our Kiln Fiends. We do need some more cheap creatures. And we could actually really use a way to get rid of our Persecutor, and we don't have that. What would be good would be the Foul Breath Invocation, I think is what it's called. I believe it's target player sacrifices a creature, but if it's not target player, if it's only them, then it won't work. So we're not going to be playing these cards, I don't think, but here's our tip. We'll take this Battle Against Scorpion, and maybe we'll end up playing that. Probably not. Well, I don't know. We're not going to be playing any of that stuff. There's a Marauder. That Marauder actually may see play in our deck. It's actually kind of close. So that was pack 2. Here we've got a Draconic Roar. Let's take a look at this one. Target player sacks a creature. So that does get rid of our big guy. We've got a Hellkite here, though. Hellkite does cost 8 mana, though. We're basically not going to be able to cast that in this deck. Basically ever. It would be fun to have it, but we don't really get to have it, so. Alright, that's okay. We're going to take a Draconic Roar here, I think, over the Invocation. We could take an Invocation, but we're going to be able to get one of those later if we really want one. This card is totally insane. This is a card that we could actually take and splash. It's so powerful, but I like our deck quite a bit so far, and I don't really want to derail it for this one card. So we're going to take the Draconic Roar. We need more 2-drops in this deck, even though I just passed one. It was an amazing one. It was not, rather, an amazing one. So here's Kaiga the Tidestar. This card's spectacular. A pretty big part of me wants to try to keep this 2 colors, though. Furnace Whelp was probably a good play here. We could also think about the Halberder. You know, or Grizzly Spectacle. Just Grizzly Spectacle is a pretty good card. Yeah, let's go with the Spectacle, actually. We do have a creature shortage, though. Maybe we should start to consider that a little bit more. Alright, let's take the Whelp. There's another Wrench Mind. There's a Dark Steel Axe, which is pretty sweet. Also a Dead Reveler, which is probably what we need to take since we're a little creature light. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. There's another Halberder. White of Precinct 6 actually might be pretty sick in this deck, since we have so much removal. I usually don't like this card, but we got a lot of removal, and so maybe it'll be pretty powerful. I think I'm willing to take the risk on it in this particular build. There's a Rager. That card's going to be very solid in our deck. We could take Trumpet Blast, but I think I'd rather have the Rager. Got more Wrench Mines. I think we're going to take Dead Reveler here. Get our 3 counts up. Count of 3 drops up. I'm going to go ahead and probably pitch this Wrench Mind here probably. We got 14 dudes. We did a pretty good job increasing our creature count here in this last pack. The Persecutor is actually really scary for us, and since we don't have a way to kill it, I'm not sure we should play it. If the Foul Tongue Invocation comes back, we'll probably take it, and we'll probably play it with the Persecutor, but this deck that we have is pretty solid, and I think there's a reasonable chance we're not going to want to run the Persecutor. There's a Mind Stone, which I'm not terribly excited about for this deck. Usually it would be a pretty good card. Earth Elemental, pretty lame for this. Don't really need the Talisman. Shimmering Grotto is awful. You know, I think the Mind Stone is probably the best card. We could also take our deck's greatest competition, which normally you wouldn't counter draft, and you especially wouldn't counter draft in something like this, but this card can beat us. I don't know. Yeah, I guess we'll take the Seeker. There's nothing for us to take at all in that pack. No chance of boarding in any of those cards, really. Eternal Thirst, if there's ever a deck where we are going to want to put this in, it's going to be this deck, but I don't think that we're going to put it in anyways. How many 2-drops do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5. Yeah, we definitely want Tavern Swindler to go up to 6 2-drops. We could take Tormenting Voice, but I don't think that's what we want. I think we want the Swindler. Halberder's not impossible. We may decide we want to play these as 1-drops, essentially. There's a Wrench Mind, and maybe we will play 2 Wrench Minds. Maybe that'll be something that we do. Making them have to discard cards, and then hitting them with the Kiln Fiend is pretty good. Force them to discard some of their cards that are kind of more bomby. I think I like the Halberder better than the Servitor there. So what if we cut Abyssal Persecutor? Will we play a Halberder and then play 24? There's Trumpet Blast. We're actually going to play that, I think, in the main here. Another Wrench Mind. Yeah, part of me wants to just go totally crazy and just run a really cheap deck. Run like 15 lands. We could even maybe run 14 if we cut all 3 of these cards. Alright, let's look at our creatures separately here. First of all, we're going to cut Persecutor. I know we're not going to play that. The Market Mutinies here actually might have a real place, and so might the Hammer Hand, actually. The Hammerhand actually is probably just good in this deck. It's probably not even really that close. It's probably just a good card. The Mark is probably a decent card too here. We could take these Wrench Mines out and just play a really, really aggressive deck. Take out the Wrench Mines. Yeah, the question is about the Malfegor. We want to take him out? Probably not, right? If we do that, we can play Hammerhand and Mark a Mutiny. And this could be what we're rolling with here. This deck's pretty cheap. And it can definitely win with the Trumpet Blast. With 14 guys. We could pull Malfegor and the Whelp. Put in all 3 Keldon Halberders and go down to 15 lands. Malfegor is so good though. But our hand's probably going to be empty by the time we get to him. Yeah, I think I want to just try to totally run my opponents over. So if we do it this way, we could add in 2 Halberders and play 15. Is that what we want to do here? Yep, I think I like this. Let's try this. 8 and 7 sounds great.